We good?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I don't know when it's going to cut out again. So this is obviously my podcast, and we are shit rigging it with with Zoom during the coronavirus apocalypse. So, McKenna, how would you introduce yourself for all 200 people listening?
Yeah, man. Hey, I'm McKenna Cole. I am just a person who is quarantined, still working, but quarantined. And today we're going to talk about antinatalism,
The joy of
among
not
other
having kids.
things.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, so before, I mean, and it's not really fair to you, you walked into it, but I got to give a shout out to my oldest brother, John, today, 6 year anniversary of his suicide. It's been on my mind all day. And it's not really fair to you. You just walked into that. You didn't know that. But
I didn't.
no, but I don't know. This is the first anniversary I've had of his while I've created a podcast. So shout out, John. Make my podcast dank. Use your
What's
good.
up, John?
Yeah.
I have a glass of wine. Let me take a little drink for him.
Pour one out for John.
Mm.
But
Mm.
Black Power. Yeah. So yeah, I guess if you like having kids or like the idea of it, this episode is probably not for you. But yeah, so yeah, I don't really know like where to start with this aside from just like, a circle jerk of like how much don't want to have kids, but
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. So I really don't know where to start, so I guess I'll just start. For me, it's not like I'm sure some people have like a more moral or ethical drive behind theirs, overpopulation, use of resources,
Mm-hmm.
how they see the
Mm-hmm.
future, geopolitical situations, the board's always changing, what life am I going to provide for my kids? Mine is
Mm-hmm.
not that at all. It's I I vividly remember being just finishing 8th grade, so this was summer 2005, and I was up at my aunt and cousin's house with my brothers in New Jersey. I remember going to the Palisades Mall, which is like 6-story huge fucking mall. I just remember seeing this lady and this guy pushing a stroller with like 6 screaming kids. And this is before I even had my driver's license, but I just remember something about that. I'd never thought of it before, but I mean, I was literally 15, but I just remember in that moment, it like seared into my mind. I was like, I don't want that. I was like,
It is like, nope.
I was just like,
You know what?
yeah, I was just like,
Mm-hmm.
I don't want. And I remember saying, I was like, I don't want kids, and it's like, all right, whatever. You're 15, your ideas don't matter. But then I was like 16, 17, 18. Obviously in high school, no one wants kids. But then even in
Right.
college, like,
Oh God,
yeah,
that's like the worst thing that
yeah,
could
I,
happen to
I
you.
want some kids when I'm 16. But I remember even
I
getting.
did. It's crazy knowing
You
people. I
did?
did know people like
Oh,
that in high school too. I
oh
knew a
yeah.
girl, and all she wanted to do was just be someone's like trophy wife and just like pop out a bunch of kids. Like she just wanted to marry like a really attractive guy and be his trophy wife and have his kids, and that's all she wanted to do. And she got married right out of high school and did exactly that. And
And
she's happy now.
hey, well, shit, man.
Like
More
that's
power to
it.
her. More power to her,
You
dude.
know?
Yeah, I mean,
She basically achieved her life's dreams. I'm like, fuck yeah,
that's
like
awesome.
not a lot of people get to do that.
Yeah, that's self
So I
actualization.
mean,
Hey, yeah, shout out that girl. Um,
yeah, for real.
yeah,
Yeah, that's a good place for me to start too, I guess.
yeah,
Is
go for
like
it. Yeah,
that was where I was gonna ask is like how did you come to the decision? Like was it like organically or whatever? Because for me it is definitely rooted in some selfish places, but it's also rooted in some ethical type places. And I had only really discovered like the antinatalist philosophy, like probably in the last like 9 months or a
really.
year or something. Yeah, I think so. But it was like I stumbled up upon it. It was like I came to that philosophy organically on my own.
Mm.
And then I just was like, oh shit, there's a community of people like this, which um incidentally is how you and I met was
Yeah,
through fucking Reddit,
yeah,
which is we like and that's exactly where I like found that whole thing. Because if you've been on I don't know if you're subscribers are familiar with Reddit. I know a lot of people our age group, like they're down with this with the shit. They know what it is.
Yeah.
So there's a subreddit on there that I subscribed to for a while called Child Free /Child Free, and that one just didn't really like. I was like, okay, yeah, these people like don't want to have kids. Cool, like this is fine. But then the more I was like perusing and like lurking on that
place
sub,
is
the
toxic.
more it's just
that place is toxic. That is a dark place.
That's a rough one to be on. It's really fucking rough. It's just people
it's angry.
Just like, shitting on kids who like didn't. Kids don't ask to be fucking kids. They don't ask to be alive on this earth.
Yeah.
Like, you know, but there's a lot of kid hatred on there, which I was like, this isn't really, you know, a lot of fake stories too. Like people would post like fake ass stories. Like I remember I read this one story on there that was like somebody posted about how they went to a hospital for some reason. And there was this woman who was trying to get treatment for her son, and she like beat up a nurse or something, and they like wouldn't throw her out of the hospital, and it was something where she was like,
and then everyone
she clearly
clapped.
would have been in violation of HIPAA, and if this was a true story, she really would have been like asked to leave the premise of the hospital, like and I was like, okay, this is just a fake karma whoring like story for you to get people to circle jerk with you on your child
I fucking hate kids too. It's always,
you know and I mean I don't
hate kids.
I don't know how I feel like about actual physical human children. I worked at a daycare for a while, which was fun.
Yeah.
But I'm the kind of person that likes like kind of messing with kids. Yeah. They're so gullible and they're just easy to mess with.
Yeah.
And they didn't really like that's how I was being with the kids at the daycare.
Yeah.
So I didn't last very long there. But I think what really got me into the like, oh shit, no, this is like not, I don't find this to be like an ethical pursuit.
Yeah.
Is I was dating a guy 2 years ago. I was with this guy, and he for sure, he was like, I want to have 5 kids. I want them like back to back to back. I want to come home and have like a whole like gaggle of children like running up to me at home. And I was like, fuck that.
The Brady Bunch. Yeah.
Fuck that. But the crazy thing about that was that he actually had me considering it just like for him. And then we broke up, and then I was like, that is so fucking crazy.
Yeah. No, dude.
I would've just done this.
Dude, yes. So like I said, like all throughout college, like still never, you know, and there was like, when I wanted to be a doctor and I, you know, University of Georgia, shout out, graduated from there, like got into medical school. I was like the most straight-laced, like I told you, like did psychedelics the day after I graduated. But I mean, up until then, it was just always like smoked pot and drank like once a semester, and it was 4.0s, like published research, like, I mean, like, you know, never going out, was never just trying to like, you know, slam every chick I could. It was always just like study, like, you know, I just like, to me, it was very much like, it's coming from like a place, like Ram Dass said, like I got my PhD primarily out of fear. It was like primarily fear. I was like, I want to be a doctor. Dr. Kerrigan. I'm going to have a white picket fence and it was always like, so it was always natural that I was like, oh, so, you know, you want to have like the Brady Bunch. And I was always like, no, I don't fucking want any kids. And it was always, everyone's like, what? You're like the most like, you know, what's that music video? Like, it came out in like 2009. Like, hope it gives you hell. It was like that guy. I was like that guy. I was like the buttoned up. Like,
All American Rejects.
Yeah, I was a Boy Scout.
Oh my God.
But like not really, because like I would still get fucked up and do like horrible things. But like I was like, I never wanted kids. And all my, you know, pre-med friends who went on to become doctors obviously had their heads screwed on right. They're always like, you don't want kids? Like, and they're all married with kids now. And I was like, no, I don't. And I started dating this girl my last semester of college, so fall 2013. And it was the first serious relationship I'd ever had. But I remember like not saying until like we had been dating for like a couple months. I was like, I literally just said, it was like, I don't fucking want kids. Like, just, you know, I was like, I don't want kids. And she was like, oh my God, me neither. She's like, I fucking hate kids. And that's when I was like, I'm going to fucking marry this girl. So we were together for like 4 years. Fantastic. But for, you know, multitude of reasons and for privacy, obviously won't go into it. But like, it came to, was like, towards the end, she was like, I I want to be a mom. And the thing is, like, this girl, like, would and will be a fantastic mother. But at the time, to go on what
Sure.
you were saying, I was
Mm-hmm.
so desperate to, like, keep it together that finally I was like, I'll give you,
Oh
like, a
yeah.
fucking kid if you want a kid. And, like, it eventually fell
It's
apart.
amazing, like
And then a month went
it's
by and I was
amazing
like,
that how
what the fuck?
people,
What the
yeah,
fuck? Love is a fuck of a
it's
drug, dude.
amazing how people can like bend you to that to
But
their
she,
will a
but she
little bit
wasn't
in
even
that
doing
way.
that. That was just me. That was me
Well,
doing
no,
it for,
no, but
yeah,
yeah, I'm
oxytocin,
sorry, I
man.
didn't mean to
Yeah.
like imply that,
I know, fuck her. But no,
but just okay, I guess just like when you're in love with somebody, like really, and you're like devoting all this
yes,
time and energy to them, like I was with the relationship I was in,
sure.
I was like, I put so much into that shit, and I was like best friends with his parents and his
Yeah. No,
brothers
no,
and like
yeah,
all that
same,
shit.
same.
So then it's like, well, god damn, I
What am I
already
gonna
put
do
like all
now?
this time,
Yeah,
you know.
yeah.
So I was like, okay.
I'll do it. Okay. Yeah.
But then I thought about it and like I was like, no, like I can't. That's what basically got me to the breaking point of that relationship. Was like, I can't do this. Like this will
It's not
literally make me like resent
this
him.
person.
Like I'll make probably like keep the guy, but we'll like wind up resenting each other because I'm doing something that I didn't want to do,
Mm-hmm.
and then that'll
Yeah.
just go to shit anyway.
Yeah.
So
Yeah. No, I feel you, dude. It was like, yeah, like a month went by and I was like, holy fuck. What was I was like, that is shit, man.
yeah.
It's shit, man. Psychedelics will, some LSD in the woods, that will get you out of your head. Fucking
Oh yeah,
oxytocin and
no.
dopamine, man. Falling in love, that shit
Trust
is a
me.
fuck of a drug. I was like,
Mm-hmm.
holy shit. Like, and yeah, so, but yeah, it's always been always like an odd thing where people are like, what do you mean you don't want kids? And like, not like
I
our
know.
child
It's so
free.
like shocking to people.
Yeah,
I've
like
had that too. Of
me.
course I've had that
But
happen
you're
to
a
me where
girl.
it's
You're
like
that sucks for you. I'm a guy, so
all the time,
I can kind
dude.
of pull
Oh
it
my
off.
god, like
I can just be a dude, like, oh, he's a 29-year-old guy, whatever. He just wants to get his fuck on. You're
and
a
they
girl
don't
though.
bother you about it,
Yeah, not
but
you.
yeah, it's
McKenna, you would be
yeah.
such a good mother.
And I'm like I'm the oldest granddaughter too.
Oh
In my
man, game
family. So
over.
it's like I'm next
Game
in line
over.
now because
Game over,
my
bro.
oldest yeah, my oldest cousin and his wife just had a baby last month. And they had been like trying and trying for years to do it. And so now the whole family is like fawning over them. So now
Yeah.
there's finally like a great grandchild like in the family, but now it's like, okay, well, like McKenna's finally in another relationship now, and they're gonna like settle down, and what are you gonna do? Actually, this is hilarious. I was thinking about this before I got on here, like shit I was gonna talk to you about. I went on a vacation in December with my family, and it was like we went on a cruise, so it's like a booze cruise. We're all just like drinking and hanging out. So it was me, my mom, my uncle, and my aunt. We're all just like drinking or whatever. We're like 3 beers deep, and then they started talking about kids, and then I'm just sitting there kind of like, yeah, like I'm just like, I can't really contribute to this because I'm not interested in that. And then my uncle said something like, oh yeah, like once you start popping them out, and I was like, well, I mean, don't expect any from me, man. Not into that. And he
lost
this
it.
actually blew my mind. Like it didn't even process for him that I was saying that I don't want kids. He thought I couldn't have kids.
So it's literally just
like,
yeah,
he
it literally
thought that I was infertile and therefore can't have them versus
oh silly McKenna,
like, I'm
you
just
can have
not doing it because it's my choice to not like.
Yeah, it's just
and that's a mind blowing thing.
Not only that,
it's crazy. Yeah, people really don't get it.
But not only that, for how old are you? You're 27, 26.
I just turned 26.
26.
Yeah.
So if it's either she thinks she's infertile or it's she just thinks she doesn't want kids. Like fuck your opinion.
You'll change your mind.
Fuck your opinion. Yeah, it's if you want to do this or you want to get a cat or you want to get a car, you're a big girl, you can do it. You're an adult. The second it's I don't want kids, it's you'll change your mind, and it's like.
Right.
What the fuck? Like,
also, and that So I'm trying to obviously not right now because we're all fucking quarantined and the last place I want to be is a hospital right now. But I am trying to get selective sterilization.
Fuck yeah.
Like tubes tied.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm preparing literally. It's fucked up that I have to. Oh shit. Oh never mind. I thought my thing just died. But I have to literally prepare like an entire binder full of like articles and research and like studies and all these things about why I'm not a crazy person to get this procedure. Because if you walk in there, it's like if you walk in there as a man and you're like, I want a vasectomy, they're like, all right, snip, snap, all right, you're good, like go home. But for women, they're like, are you sure you really want to do this? Because it's unreversible. And a lot of doctors won't perform the procedure on people who haven't already had kids or people who are under 35.
What the fuck?
So it's like, yes.
What
There's
the fuck?
Mad discrimination against it, yeah.
Dude, holy fuck.
Yeah, it's wild.
See, like,
that's one thing that I was using that child-free sub for, was they actually have like a good list of doctors by state who will do for you.
Yeah. Oh, so, there's definitely some. I mean, there's good people in there. It's
Oh yeah.
It's yeah. You can't write the whole thing off.
It gets real squirrely real fast.
Yeah. I remember joining it, and it was like 2016. I was like, oh, this is so cool. And this was like a year or two after I decided I didn't want to go to medical school, and it was this whole like I was like, well, what do I truly want? That was like the first hardest thing, is to admit to myself, I don't want to be a doctor. And then I was like, well, what do I truly want? And I was like, well, shit, like I know I don't want kids, and it was like, I kind of want to do something creative. And anyway, so that's when I joined it. I was like, oh, cool, these are other people. The way I looked at it is like, it's like you're working in that, you're like elementary school, and then you're in middle school, and then you're in high school, and then you're in college, and then you're in grad school, and we're always working for this thing. And then like right when we get there, and it's like you finally have hit that sweet spot of like, now you have money and you're not, it's one thing if you have free time but you're 7. It's another thing if you have free time and money but you're 70. And I was always just like, there's this like 20s, 30s, I was like, you can get to that age and you can have money in your own place. And I was always like, everyone was always looking forward to like high school or college, and I was always looking at that. I was like, that's like the real recess. Like, go out and play, have money, and have like your own. And I was like, oh, so in my mind, I was like, well, that's where like you can really like become yourself. You can pursue what you want to pursue. You want to be an artist, that's fine. You don't have, you're not in high school and your parents are saying, you got to get a job. Live on your own. You're an adult. Do whatever the fuck you want. And I went there thinking it was going to be that. Like, oh, these are going to be people that like realized they wanted to ride horses or paint, or it was just these people that were like, fuck your spawn, or you're like your crotch droppings. And I was like, what the fuck? I was like, I was like, dude, a lot of my friends have kids, and I'm so happy for them. They're so happy. There's not an ounce of regret in their faces. And it's not just like, oh, they're happy and it's new. Some of their kids are 3, 4, and every day it's like, got my little guy with me. Like, this is my life. And I'm just like, that's awesome. That's not for me. But I'm like, I'm so happy for you. And like, I'll happily be like, I'll be like an unofficial like uncle. I'll come like drunk at college, like graduation or something, give him like $1,000. Like, I'll happily be that guy.
Yeah.
But like, I don't have like a hatred for them. Like, I don't like the sound of kids crying or screaming. That boils my blood. So I distance myself. But like, our child free is just like these fucking little demons, and it's like, holy shit. It's like,
is that kid that's annoying you for 30 seconds really like ruining your whole fucking life right now? Like,
or are you just a miserable person?
Relax and move on. Like, it's seriously, it's like, it's not that serious, guys.
Yeah, dude.
So that one is not, I don't peruse that one anymore since I found
I had to leave.
our antinatalism, because that's like the core of what I really sat down and I was like, okay, nobody on this earth ever in the history of humanity has consented to being alive. No one.
Ever.
And you can't, and it's impossible. And therefore, how can you, once you're alive and everything is about like you consenting to do things, how can you like force the existence of being a human being onto somebody else?
A new sentence.
Because you have no control. I think this is the thing that gets me the most, is that you really have no fucking control. Like, people want to be good parents and they want to teach their kids like values and how to be accepting and like how to share and like how to be emotionally intelligent and like help people. But it's like, at the end of the day, you can do that and you can do everything in your power, and that kid still can turn out to be a fucking terrible person. Like, still.
Yeah.
Or they could die. They could suffer with like a terrible disease or a mental illness. Like, you know, I mean, holy shit, God, your brother.
Yeah. And the
Or,
thing is, like,
you know, that runs in my family too. We have history of substance abuse and depression. I've struggled with it. My sister, my mom has struggled with it. It's a fucking, you know,
it's real.
And it's not well understood, but it's like, I don't know. It makes me sad, I think, when people are like, I have nothing else in my life, so I'm gonna have a kid, and like that's the thing that's gonna make me like feel happy and fulfilled. I don't know. But for me, disclaimer, this is my fucking opinions, people. I'm not totally not shitting on people when I have kids saying this, but I'm just like, I don't know. There's something wrong with that picture.
Yeah, and that's the thing is like, yeah, you can just bring someone into this world and sort of fuck them over, or you can be like my parents, who are, I mean, fucking saints. I'm 29, and you know, 2 years after my brother took his life, like I really started to kind of all catch up with me. I had been suppressing it, and it just came out in the form of every fucking drug and pill and just you know, let's drown our sorrows. And you know, I moved home in 2016. And, you know, I've been seeing a therapist for 3 years, and, you know, I have parents who still, I mean, 29 years old, and they're still, you know, helping me out, like being the most loving people in the world. Like I went to private school my whole life. Like I have, I mean, ungodly amazing parents, and something like that can still happen to my brother. And so it's like, even if you do have, dude, he was getting his PhD at Georgia Tech doing like defense contractor research, and his girlfriend is a smoke show who's a lawyer. Like, and it's like, if you get to that point and it's like, that's like an illness that's like, it's no one's fault. And like, so that's how I look at it, is like, dude, I don't, and not only that, it's like, you know, it's like, I have blue eyes, let's say, for whatever reason. So, and like, to everyone that doesn't believe it, like, you're a moron. Mental illness is as real as having weak bones or having, you know, brown hair or being short, whatever. The way I look at it is, it's like, dude, I don't want to bring someone in that could like potentially have like my mindset. Like,
who could feel like that. Yeah.
Dude, I've lost an uncle. You know? I've lost 2 uncles and 1 aunt, a cousin and a brother, to suicide. Like,
oh my God.
And dude, I've towed that line, like more so than I would say, but it's, I don't want to bring someone in for that reason. And like, you're right, no one has ever consented to being alive, and it's, as much as, you know, it's been a shit show as my ride, it's still also been like inexplicably exciting. Like, I'm 29, I'm in good health, I'm trying to build a podcast. Like, what if this works? You know, what happens tomorrow? Cool. How the fuck am I going to figure out Zoom? I feel retarded, right? And it's, you know, and it's... Is this
the first one you've done on Zoom?
I did one with the Delta Force guy, but I think he has like a paid subscription, so the quality was like perfect, and he sent me with, I'm an idiot, so I couldn't figure it out. But what you were saying is like, my friend Joe said it perfectly. He was like, when you say you don't want kids, people always ask you, why do you not want kids? And he's like, think about when you just, you know, finish college and you're like, I want to get a dog. What's the first thing they say? You know, a dog's a lot of responsibility. Are you sure you want the dog? Or, hey, you got a tattoo. Are you sure you want this tattoo? You should wait 6 months. And if you still want the tattoo, get the tattoo. So it's all these, do you want this? Have you thought about it? Do you know how much responsibility it is? Do you know how much money it is? It's with you forever. But when it comes to kids, it's the exact opposite. It's, instead of saying like, you know, I think I should think about it, it's like, what the fuck do you mean you should think about it? You know, rub one out. Go get, like, come
on, it's the best thing. It's the best thing that's ever happened to me. So it's obviously it's gonna be the best thing that ever happened to you. Yeah, that's like the thing.
And I just, for me, it's, I wish I could say it's some high-minded, like, well, I believe population's growing at an exponential rate and we're using up resources. For me, I'm just like, I need to, like, because you hit the nail on the head earlier. Like, I will grow to resent others if, like, I have children and they're the reason why I can't do all the things I want to do. I think I would be a shitty father, because I would be like, you're the reason why I can't do this. And I'm just like, dude, I don't want to do that to someone. Like,
and it's like I was saying, it's like, it's personal reasons that have to do with me too. It's like, number 1, I'm the most impatient person on the fucking earth. Like, number 2, I don't like,
I think I'm more impatient.
No, like, ever.
You sound like Cartman.
I don't like.
Have you ever heard that NPR interview with the guy that does, or with the Cartman voice? came out
No.
in
No.
like 2000. But it's like, Cartman.
shit.
He's like, hello. And he's like, what is your least favorite thing? No. I don't like hearing the word no. I don't. What's your favorite color? Caucasian. But like, it's. But yeah, no. I was gonna say, yeah. But yeah, sorry, I interrupted
You know?
you. Yeah. More.
No, it's okay. But yeah, it's like I'm fucking super impatient.
Yeah.
I'm working on it. But that's like a very like core
I'm more impatient
part
than
of
you.
my personality.
I'm more impatient than
which
you.
may be a generational thing. I don't know, because of when we were born and our parents telling us that we can do whatever and have whatever. I don't know. That's a different story. But yeah, and then just like not liking. I don't like boundaries. I don't like no. I don't like when I don't have like enough money to do something that I want to do. Like number one, that fucking pisses me off. I hate that. I hate like money as a boundary to things.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, shit. There's personal reasons like that too.
Yeah.
Because I don't think hypothetically that I would be a terrible mom. If in whatever like timeline where I have a kid, I'm sure I would be of course I would, because my view also is like, if that were to happen, of course I'm gonna do whatever the fuck like is necessary to make sure that kid is taken care of and has a great fucking life.
And is not as fucked up as me. Like,
right.
Yeah, you know.
I think that's everyone's goal. Yeah, but
it's
just wild.
It's
wild.
It's
a wild world out there.
I was gonna say I'm definitely more impatient than you. I think I'm more impatient than you. But like,
why?
I remember talking to you on Reddit like last fall. I remember I messaged you like 5 times a minute. You were like, dude, I'm eating sushi, and I was like playing just. And I just remember thinking, I was like my like mindset of pre-med, like organic, like study all day, like a 99 is literally. I was like, it's not enough that I get an A, like others must fail. Like I was like like type A. And so I just remember like, but yeah, dude, it's I don't want, like, I want my own failures to be my own. Like, I don't want to, you know, I've had a t-shirt company, like I've designed clothes, now I'm doing a podcast. Like, I don't want to ever, look at something and be like, well, what if I had started a podcast? What if I had tried to learn graphic design? Like, what if I, and I can't because I've got, screaming, running around, shitting like little kid. And like, there's like so much shit I want to do that like, and when it's just me, like I don't have to, like in patience, or you're saying, like I don't have to like check with anyone. It's like, I want to do a podcast and this is what I'm doing. I can switch it around. Okay, McKenna's on Wednesday. Yeah, I can switch. I don't have to like focus group it. Like, okay, I have this guy Monday, McKenna Wednesday, I have this guy Saturday. And like, what do I want to do? I don't know. Part of me wants to like go live in northern New Hampshire. Another part of me really wants to live in Hawaii. Like that. Yeah. And like, I can sort of like, and like, what do I want? I don't want a little kid. Like, I want like an 8K TV and a goddamn like top of the line Xbox, and I just want to be able to like vegetate. Like, that's my love.
I want things.
Yeah.
I want nice things.
Yeah, and it's
things. Yeah. Pretty things.
Yeah. Like,
expensive things. Yeah. I get it.
I like to fill the void with consumerism, and and who knows?
Things and dogs. Well, that's what we're meant to do in this country. So
yeah.
It's capitalism for you.
Yeah.
We're just being marketed to all day, every day. So of course we want to do that.
Yeah. Do you play Grand Theft Auto?
No, I never have. But I did play Red Dead Redemption, which is by the same company, and you can basically do the same. You can do the same thing.
You've never. Oh my God! You've never. You've never played Grand Theft Auto? Jesus fucking Christ.
Okay, I played it maybe like twice in my life.
This podcast
in high
is
school
over.
Like my high school boyfriend was obsessed with it.
Yeah. But no, there's a line in there where you're like shopping for like planes online, and it's some like gold-plated plane, and it's like, no better place to like sacrifice your paycheck at the altar of consumerism. Fill the void. And But yeah, dude, it's so yeah, kind of what we've hit on is like why I don't want to get. Now, has this like I said, this has always been like a consistent thing for me, aside from when it was like, maybe I can patch up this relationship. Is it like new for you? I mean, I know you said more so the last 9 months you kind of discovered it as like a mindset, or I guess
I've like discovered like more so in the last year, like reasons why. It's like putting words to something that I always felt, because like I always felt this way.
Yeah.
From like, I cannot once ever remember like having the desire to have a kid ever. Like, never, ever, ever, ever. The only time I really was like considering it is when I was with that guy that I was dating in college, and I was like, maybe it wouldn't be like so bad. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then no. Like, the more I thought about it, the more I was like, no, this is not what I want, and I'm not gonna like sacrifice that. That's like my entire fucking life.
Yeah. Yeah.
Or at least 20 years of it, until I retire, where I'll just be working my ass off to support my kids.
Yeah.
Not have anything for myself for 20 plus years.
Yeah. Yeah.
So then I was like, no. But yeah, it has been like my whole life.
Yeah.
And now it's becoming more like of a prominent thing, like we were talking about earlier, is like it comes up in conversation with family all the time. It's like, you know.
Is it still like,
oh, how serious are you about this guy? And like, you know, like they'll just make jokes about, oh, when you have your own or something.
do you still have
even
to like...
my ex-boyfriend's mom, like we were out to dinner one time, and we were talking about like, it was the most recent Mad Max movie that came out.
Yeah. And
she had 3 sons, so she took them all to the movies to like see the Mad Max movie. It's like a cool like thing to do with your sons. And I was like, yeah, I don't know, like I'm not really. She liked it, so she was asking me if I saw it and if I was into the movie. I was like, no, it's not really my thing. I'm probably not. Yeah. Like go to an action movie and pay money to see it. Like, I don't know, that's just not my style. And she was like, well, when you have 3 boys of your own, you'll find yourself doing this all the time.
It's gonna be every day. I don't think so. Yeah, it's
nope. You know.
Yeah, it's.
It's the most awkward thing to try to like respond to too.
I found that it's like it's almost like a callous. You just I remember the first time it was like, Tom, what do you mean you don't want? And it's the girl I was dating at the time. Well, like, you know, what is she? I'm like, well, she doesn't want him either. And it was always like our families would then kind of like egg each other on and be like, well, what do you mean you don't want her? You know, what do you... And I found that I realized early on, I was like, this is just going to be like a brutal like war. It's going to kind of just be like D-Day. Like there's no easy way around it. I'm just going to have to like throw soldiers into the fray until like I move the front line. I was just like, there's just going to be awkward conversation after awkward and finally it's been like 7-8 years and I feel like I've bludgeoned it into their mind enough because it never comes up. Aunts, uncles, cousins, it doesn't come up. Friends, it's like, yeah, I've just had to like brutally beat it into their minds. It never comes up anymore. But I was going to say, even the mindset, because like what you mentioned, you're like, 20 years of my life. And I remember thinking, as soon as you said that, I was like, yeah, it's a long time. But then I thought like people that want to be parents, like, I don't think they ever look at it as it ending. Like they're always there. And I can just tell even in my mindset, I'm like 20 years and then I'm finished. Like, that's not necessarily the case. Like, look at me. I'm 29. My parents are still helping me out. Like, I'm looking at it as like a means to an end. I'm like, get them out and it's fucking over.
Right. And you're like, okay, like this is the time. And then this is when they go to college. And this is when I have like,
and I'm free.
Life.
Yeah.
What would be. Yeah. But I think you're right. Yeah. Like people who think that are like, no, like I'm gonna have this relationship with my kid for my whole life, and it's gonna be this like nurturing, wonderful thing, which I know that it definitely is for a lot of people.
Yeah.
But then you get to the end of your life, and then you die, and they have to watch you fucking die there.
Yeah.
If you outlive them like you should.
Yeah.
I think that's fucked up.
Yeah.
I think that's fucking really uncool, man.
Yeah, I remember you said that.
Oh man,
like I was like the first time I talked to you, you were like, "Yeah, I like to play like PlayStation or something." You're like, "Probably gonna die alone anyways," and I was just like, "Fuck yeah!" But that's my mindset, man. I'm like, my grandma passed 2 years away. God bless her, but like, daughters took care of her until like the very end, and it was, it was beautiful. We're always there for her. But it was like slowly watching like the life leave this woman, her mind going.
Yeah, oh my God.
And I was just I was just like, And then whenever like an aunt or an uncle or a great aunt or uncle passes away, it's always like I kind of knew him, but you're like, oh, but it goes away. It's not like this lasting
Mm,
pain like my brother or something, or what I can only imagine as a
yeah.
parent. I want to be that like peripheral uncle. Like Tom passed away today,
Yeah,
75. Like, oh man, he was a cool. I don't want to cause anyone any pain. How'd he go out?
I know.
He
Yeah,
was on bath
me
salts
too.
and he was skydiving. Like, it's how he would have
That's
wanted
it.
to go.
That's what I'm saying. Like, I don't want to be like withering away.
No,
Like,
no.
holy shit. I mean,
Turn it up to
no, that's like the
11.
worst thing. Like, if somebody tells me like, hey, you got stage 4 fucking like cancer, you got like 3 months. Like, I'm going out with a fucking bang,
Yeah.
and everybody's gonna know about it. First of all, I'll tell everyone, but I'm gonna be like, okay, this is what I'm doing. I'm not doing chemo.
Yeah,
I'm not
fuck
doing any of this
chemo.
bullshit. I'm gonna. First of all, I'm gonna move to Oregon where it's legal to kill yourself
It is?
or have a physician-assisted suicide. Yes.
Noted. All right.
In Oregon, and I think Oregon, Washington, and maybe one or two other states, physician-assisted suicide is legal.
Yeah.
There are a lot of caveats to it. It's basically like somebody has to tell you that you have like 6 weeks. Like if somebody tells you that your life expectancy is 6 weeks or less, then you
Okay.
can opt for that, but it still is really expensive. It's not
Yeah.
insurance, obviously. There's actually a really interesting movie on Netflix. What the hell is it called? I think it's called Paddleton, and it has Ray Romano in it and someone else. And I know I'm saying Ray Romano, and you're like, what the fuck?
No, I'm liking it already. I'm just thinking about it.
It's a good movie.
Ray
I actually
Romano.
watched it by mistake because I saw Ray Romano and I was like, this looks like a goofy fun movie. No, it's like really dark and sad. And it's like Ray Romano and this guy, his best friend, they like live above each other in this apartment complex, and the friend finds out that he's sick and he has like a month or 2 months to live or something, but they live in a state where you can't legally have physician assisted suicide.
Sure.
So it's basically like they have to drive down to Oregon or California. They take this road trip to go get the meds so that this guy can kill himself. And it's actually like really nice. It's really sad, but it's like these guys are like friends. They've been friends forever, and so there's like cross between them. And Ray's like taking this trip down, but the whole time the reason they're going is because guy's like at the end of his rope. And it's really good. I would recommend.
Fuck yeah! I mean,
watch it,
I watched because I'm apparently fucked up. I watched a physician assisted suicide video like years ago, like right after my brother passed. I think it was on Reddit. But yeah, it was this old lady. She was like 90. She was like in Italy, like just speaking Italian. And like, her daughter's there with her, and her daughter's very sad. But you see this lady, and she's just very matter of fact, like, there's like subtitles, and she was like, honey. And she's like, it's my time to go. It's like, she's like, she wasn't just killing herself. She was like, I have cancer. She's like, it's either like 6 months of just like horrible pain and you watching me like get eaten alive, or like let me go out smiling. Like the doctor comes in, it's like they have to like mix 2 bottles, and there's like all this like obviously warnings, and she like shakes it up, puts it in like a shot glass, takes it. She's like, it tastes like chocolate, and it's like there's tons of like sedatives in it too, and so it's obviously not just here comes death. So she's like very relaxed, and she's just smiling and just talking to her daughter, and just like passes away. And I'm like, that's the other way. Is like, man, I don't want to like go out like hanging on by a thread, like 1,000 medical machines hooked up to me. My logic is like, they say when you do heroin, they say it's the best drug ever in the world, but you can never get as high as the first time, right? It's chasing the dragon. I just want to save that for when I decide it's time to go. And if I'm in like my 80s, I'm like,
your last day on Earth
I'm just like, it's gonna be I'm gonna get around there's a loophole. I can get as high as I'll ever be on heroin, and I just won't come down because I'll just die. Like I'll never have to know chasing the dragon. That's man. It's like Hunter S. Thompson. He said he was trying to live to 50. That was his goal, and he died. He committed suicide at 67. But literally in his suicide letter, he was like, "This won't hurt." He's like 17 years too long. Like I didn't want to do this anyway. And like I don't know, man. That's just kind of how I view it. And yeah, I don't know. I just don't want, like, I don't want to, like, I want to have all the freedom in my life that I can. Like, I want to be able to, like, I'm going to go buy this brand new video game. I'm going to go buy this, 8K TV, whatever. I'm going to go live in
Always, hell
Hawaii.
yes.
Yes. One day I might come to the dark side and get a PlayStation. But, like, it's all this shit.
You don't know what you're missing, man. I'm telling you.
I know.
I'm telling you.
I know. But, like, I want to be able to indulge in all of that. And, like, yeah, and then when it's time for me to go, like, I don't want to, like, cause any pain. And one, I don't want to be like an old person that you got. And that's not to say that, like, you know, dreading, my parents are in their 60s, like, taking, like, no, I will happily take care of them, like, happily, with a smile. Of course. Yeah. So it's not like
they've taken care of you, you're gonna take care of them. Hell
exactly.
Yeah.
There's no, like, someone's got to do it. Like, no, I will happily do it. But, like, when I get older, like, I don't want anyone to have to do that. And I also, so my brother, my brother went to a secluded area. He took his car. He left his spare key, and this never really shared these details with anyone outside of my family. And he went to a secluded area and took his life with a handgun. But he put, he put everything in place so, like, it would have been dealt with the easiest way possible for all of us, as easy as it can be. There's no trauma of, like, he committed suicide, in the home or something. Like, you got to move out. Who the fuck's gonna stay in that home? It wasn't anything like that.
Yeah.
It was really as thoughtful as you could do it. But one thing I've always thought about was, like, man, how much does that suck to be in that place where you're like, I'm gonna take my life, and then, like, I really don't want to be a burden to anyone. So I gotta go. McKenna, you froze up. McKenna. We'll all, like, continue talking, and I'll realize I don't know if the person's just, like, nodding or if they're just still. And after a minute, I'll be like, fuck, I'm talking to myself, aren't I? Like, fuck.
Yeah, like, you froze mid-sentence, and I was like, shit.
Oh, no. That was the same for you on my end. Yeah, you froze up.
Yeah.
I guess my phone has Tourette's. I literally just messaged you joined, but it autocorrect to hookers. And I was just like, Bob Saget. Like, fuck salt.
Nice.
Like, hookers.
Fuck salt.
Yeah. I'm so happy you've seen that. I'm so happy. Yeah, man. It's
very, like, rare that I can bring that up, that meme. That's
Bob
great.
Saget. It's an esoteric meme. It's not for the normies. It's higher echelon memery. But yeah, it's very pinky out meme. It
really is. It's very highbrow, very classic.
Very inner circle.
Classic.
It's like the Ivy League of memes. If you don't, it's a good test for people. It'd just be like, Bob Saget ? And if they're like, yeah, he's a funny guy, I'd be like, no. Like, if someone has to say fuck, someone has to tell me, like, right. I wouldn't fuck her with my own ass. Like, this cereal's hard. Don't talk shit about Total.
Who's that faggot with a tuba?
Who's that faggot with the tuba? It's our dad. Oh, shit. Charlene. Yeah. Jesus fuck. Yeah, it's one thing I've thought about was, like, it's not a complete 180, but, like, to be in such a spot that, like, you've decided that you're gonna take your life, and then to also be like, like, how do I be, like, the least burden to everyone else? That's literally like, hey,
can you imagine?
Yeah, like, hey, you're dying. Can you, like, try to make most of your bed before you think you're gonna pass away? It's like you're literally at that cusp of, like, the great unknown, and then it's like, how do I do this without, like, that's, to me, I'm like, god damn, like, I wish you could just, it should be like, you can go somewhere and that's your decision. I'm getting feedback through here. Again,
I don't have any. No.
Okay.
You sound fine to me.
Okay. But yeah, it's so another 180. Fuck, I can hear my voice through there. Are you frozen again? No. So kind of wanted to do a 180 and talk about psychedelics.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's an interesting one for sure. And I did not end up partaking in any as planned this weekend, which sucks. We had planned that, and we were like really excited to do it, and then it just didn't work out. So there'll be another time, but yeah, we actually still can talk about that because I've still done that pretty recently, actually. Because I think, yeah, the last time I did LSD was when I sent you the picture that me and my boyfriend
you guys
painted.
Were painting, yeah.
Yeah, we were fucking painting, and that is one of the best ideas I've ever had. Is like doing that.
I've never like, made art while I was tripping. I feel like I'm missing out.
Absolutely have to try it because it was so like it was such an awakening moment for him because I've always like been into art and I paint and I've always like kind of been interested in that and I do it in my free time, and he had never like ever touched a canvas or like used paint to like make something ever. So I was like, let's do this while we trip. This is gonna be like interesting and fun. And so over the course of like a couple of hours, I just kind of like just like put all this shit out and was like go crazy. And I'm over here like doing my like little thing, just like playing with a canvas or whatever. And like he's making a fucking like piece of art that he's never done before in his life. And it was like the coolest thing to watch somebody like open themselves up to that because it's very like daunting, I think, at first if you don't make art to just have like a blank canvas in front of you and like all these choices, especially for him because if he has too many choices and that should not make a decision on things because he's like I'm gonna do the wrong thing, I'm gonna pick the wrong thing. So I'm like there is no wrong thing. If you do something you don't like, you paint over it. That's the beauty of paint. And then like we were tripping and I said that and that part clicked and he was like, whoa, you're right. Like I can do anything I want to this. So if you ever get the opportunity to recommend that.
I really need to. I really need to. It's
even if it's just to like see how the paint looks and how you can like manipulate it on the canvas.
I think
that was all I was really thinking when I brought that out. I was like, wow, this would like look so cool to just paint. Like, dude, you know?
Dude. Yeah. I feel like it might, I feel like for me, it would, I don't know if I'd be able to like operate. Like I very quickly like lose like motor control on psychedelics. Like it's,
it is tough. Yeah. I totally get it, especially for what we had. It wasn't like such a visual experience. Like we did have visuals with it, but the LSD that we had was kind of some potency, so it was like a pretty intense like body high of heat. It was just like I felt like great, obviously, but then also it's like my arm is just not working for me right now. So that is tough to overcome, and I always like. When I'm sober, I'll be thinking about the next time I want to do that. And I'll like make this list of things I want to do. And then we get to that point and then I'm like, oh my God, I just feel like nothing.
I just need to like sit here and like, I always have these plans where I'm like, okay, like I want to think about the universe. Like I definitely want to like maybe make some art and I'm going to do some writing and then I'll do them and I'll just like, and it will slowly start coming on and it's just like, what the fuck is this? Like I've only ever done like I've done psychedelics on 4 occasions and they've always been like massive doses. Dude, I can hear, I don't know why do you have like headphones? I can hear my voice coming back through.
Yeah, hold on one sec.
Yeah, no worries.
Let me find a pair.
You're good.
I have a pair somewhere.
There's been I think 2 episodes out of this is number 80. There's been 2 episodes where something didn't happen, or someone's service or internet, or it's isn't when something doesn't fuck up. I start to get a little like suspicious, and I'm like,
You're like waiting. Yeah, you're waiting for something to happen.
I'm like,
And you're like, all right,
where is it coming from?
now it's coming. Yeah.
Yeah. It's actually like 3 episodes ago. Yeah, I was going through the whole. I had two of my brother John's like best friends. I had them both on. We were just like talking about him for like an hour, and it was going so well. And I was like, perfect. I was like, maybe I've like gotten into the groove. The podcast ends, and I go back, and it just the phantom file. It just vanished. An hour-long podcast, and I was like, you've got to be fucking kidding me. So yeah, it's but yeah, so I was gonna say, yeah, with psychedelics I always have all these like plans, and
yeah,
the first time I did it in December 2013, I was literally just like, I need to like go inside. I need to like,
you said four times you've done it.
let's see, 2013, 14, 15, let's say five. There's like 2 occasions where I took like half a tab, but I don't really count that as tripping. It was like,
it's been
it's what?
LSD every time.
You froze up, McKenna.
First again.
Oh, there you. Okay, there you are.
Yeah, you did too.
Okay.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I know. Trust it. I'm used to it. What were you saying? I said it. So I said it's been like I've taken half a tab on a couple of occasions, and that's when you muted.
So it's been LSD every time.
I guess count tripping. It's the first time was just mushrooms. That was fall 2013. That was like that was my first time ever tripping. That was like 2 grams, and that's like me and like my best friend drove up to the woods in like North Georgia at his like lake house in December. Like no one was there.
That's awesome.
Yeah, we just sat on this like field in the mountains looking down at the lake. And it's Georgia, so like the winter's not that bad. Georgia, it's like probably like 35, 40. We just went down and sat there, and this like, and it was sunny out, and we were walking along, and like I'd smoked weed a million times, but I was like, because I just got accepted in medical school. I just started dating this girl, and college was just ending, and it was just like all this stuff is, and everyone had always said, when you do psychedelics, make sure you're in like a good spot. Me, I was like, all this stuff is like, my family's in Maryland. One brother is, this is before I lost my brother, so I was like, one brother's having a tough time in like Atlanta, another one is in North Carolina, and it was just like, and I'm dating this girl, and I got into medical school in Miami, and all my friends are in Georgia, and it was just, and everyone, I was like, well, what if I just do psychedelics now, like amidst the chaos, and was like, why don't I just run into the thunderstorm with a lightning rod, and went out into the woods, and we took it. I remember we were walking along, and like could definitely tell something was starting to happening, because like the water was like glistening, but it felt no different than like smoking a blunt. It was just like you really start to notice how beautiful nature is, and we're like, okay. And then we found this like this field with like kind of like tall grass, and we sat in it, and it was like, I just remember we were like in the middle of this opening with trees all around us, and I really started to realize it was like they were breathing. There was no visual. I didn't get visuals on this first trip, but it was just it literally was just like staring at them, and was just like, oh my god. And like the grass, it just felt like Mother Nature was just like holding me in this spot. And I like looked at my friend Benji, and he like looked at me, and it was just like we were just smiling, and it was like, I was like, what? And he was like, you know what? And like we just, and I was just like, I know what? And like, and then right at that moment, like I farted, and he was like, oh no, shroom farts. And I was like, oh no, shroom. And for the rest of the day, we were just talking about shroom farts, and like, yeah. And it was just so, I remember coming back, and I was like, I don't want to go to medical school. And I was like, I just came back and was in like a state of peace. The next time I did them was like 6 months after my brother passed. And that time was acid. And we like went to this, me and my roommate went to this like little lake or this river in Georgia. And we sat on like the sand, and we're just watching like the water go by. And we were like watching all the leaves in the water go by. And it was just weird. I don't know. It was like fall. So everything was, what?
You froze again, and I was trying to turn. I was trying to turn off my Wi-Fi on my phone to see if that is interfere with something. I don't know. Okay, so
Fucking
all
Zoom.
right, so that's
Sorry.
like 5. That's like a good handful of experiences.
Yeah. Yeah.
In high doses, you said. Okay,
These
that's cool.
Yeah, these first 2 weren't, and then it was 2015. It was like 2-year anniversary. So it was on this day actually. It was 2-year anniversary of my brother, and I was like,
Wow.
okay. And again, it was like, you should be in a peaceful state of mind. And here I am in this like tumultuous, what could I have done differently? Should I have gone, decided not to go to med school? Girlfriend's parents are like, I thought you were going to be a doctor. My parents are like, I thought you were going to be a doctor. And I was like, what better time? So I took 400 micrograms of LSD and 9 grams of mushrooms together. And
Jesus.
yeah. And I remember sitting out on my driveway, and it started to rain, and the rain was washing the color out of the trees above me. So like,
oh yeah,
the puddles were turning green, and the trees looked like they weren't colored in.
That's some good stuff.
Yeah. And I was like, holy fuck. And like, that was like a time where like I felt like I've literally felt like my brother was in the room. And then the next year, this was the last time I've done them, I did 1,200 micrograms of acid with like 15 grams of shrooms. And that, I can't really describe that one. I'm not going to do it any justice. So,
shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah. But
wow.
Each time I did these, it was like what you said. I was like, oh, I'd bring like a little notepad. I'm going to write down my thoughts, or I'm going to write down like a sketch, or I'm going to make some beautiful art. And it would literally get to a point where I would be like looking at my hands, and like a good hour would pass before I realized like they were mine. Like I'd be like, man, hands, like fingers are so weird. And I finally had like twitch and something move. I'd be like,
I've had that thought about fingers before while I'm tripping.
Yeah, what?
It's yeah. I mean, it just takes you. It just makes you. It's hard to like plan a trip because it literally is changing your brain chemistry to the point that you don't. It's totally different than the way that you would normally think. Like it's just changing. It's just like why and making you perceive everything differently in a way that's just like profound and overwhelming a lot of times. So I kind of like, I'll like make like light suggestions for myself.
Yeah.
And mainly I'll do like music suggestions that I will listen to. But then other than that, I kind of just let it carry me.
Yeah.
And enjoy it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cause most of the time when I've done it, it's been pretty damn fun.
Yeah.
Cause I tend to do it. I definitely do it when I'm like, on highs in life.
Yeah.
So like in good places.
Yeah. Good shit's happening.
Sometimes I have done it in times that weren't so great.
Yeah.
Have you ever had a bad trip, like a negative, scary experience?
Never on psychedelics, and I'm blessed for that. Weed 1,000 times.
I have had. Oh well, yeah. I do not smoke weed because I can't like. It escalates my anxiety to such a point that I can't function.
Out. I freak.
It's literally.
Fuck out.
I have given myself a panic attack just from being high.
Oh yeah.
Too high.
Oh yeah.
Like I've just smoked myself. Like one time I was smoking. I'll like smoke like once a year because I'll be like, maybe it'll be fine this time.
Maybe I can handle it.
And then every time I prove myself wrong that like, no, you can't do this shit.
Yeah.
So the last time I did it by myself, I was just like here in my room and I was like, I got a vape pen with some sativa oil. So I was like, cool, let me try it. And I did one too many hits on the pen. And somehow the thought got into my brain that I was forgetting to breathe. So then I'm like literally breathing myself into like I'm hyperventilating because I'm like, oh my God, I forgot to breathe. Like, oh my God, I was so high I was forgetting to breathe. What if I pass out? But it's like, no, your body will never allow you to just stop fucking breathing.
No.
It's autonomic.
Yeah. It'll resuscitate you. McKenna? Oh, God damn it. Froze up again. McKenna?